things can change. We got DeGods saying that there are going to be 0% royalties on all their collections. Let's make this bigger for everyone. 0% royalties on all their collections going forward. We are updating DeGods, toobs, and yoots all to zero royalties. We still believe that royalties are an incredible use case of NFTs. We will continue to support creators that want to find solutions to enforce royalties. We believe this is the best decision for our business at this time. So they're not saying that this is the best decision for everyone's business at all times. They're saying, particularly for them, this is the best decision at this particular time. Now, Kate, you and I have done a detailed chat on royalties, and it's anyone who's interested, check out the YouTube channel. But I've got my own sort of belief here. I think that the only reason that DeGods would have done this is if they've got some sort of investment coming in.
No, they got an investment already. I just found this out.
More. Oh, when did you find it out?
Like 3 days ago. They have, after I did the live stream, I was like, look, this doesn't make any sense. The only way they could do this is if they've got a $5 million bag already in the books. Otherwise, it's too risky for no reason. And I found out that they have a private investment of $7 million. That's why they're able to do this, because it makes no sense. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's the money coming from? Like, there's no way you can just cut out all your royalties, especially from a top project where this is an actual revenue stream. Like for most projects,
so have they officially announced this?
It's not like it's private, but it's definitely not really like that public. Like he hasn't really talked about it, and he mentioned that they don't have VC funding for DeGods or yoots, which is true, but he didn't exactly tell the truth. He kind of left out a big portion, which is we actually did get VC funded, but it's for Dust Labs, which also encompasses DeGods and yoots, but technically there's no VC fund for the NFT project, but they're going to use all the money for Dust Labs, which is the same thing anyway. So he kind of just like didn't really answer the question. I don't really know what that's about. That's all I know is that they have money.
You know, I've got another theory, bro.
What's up?
You want to hear it? I think that he did have knowledge of this SEC investigation into the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think he did, and that tweet is proof of that, because it's exactly, this fits into that. It's not great in the beginning, but in the long term, it's good. And I think in a way to protect the DeGods ecosystem, royalties do factor into it. The fact that you getting a continual royalty on the sales makes it more like a security than if you're not. So it's possible that this was a way to protect the DeGods ecosystem should long game 2-3 years time the SEC finds that NFTs that do give royalties are securities, the DeGods ecosystem is protected.
Yeah, I think it's a combo of both. I would say that's exactly right. I would say they got the money and they were like, we don't need this. We don't need the royalties anymore. Even though like the one thing
need the risk.
Yeah, they don't need the risk. But the one thing that I thought was interesting is that the artist has an entitlement to like 1 or 2%. And either they found another way to finance that, or they're just not going to pay the artist. So
as far as I know, the artist has left because of this decision. Oh, because exactly what you're saying. They were supposed to get a percentage of royalties. And now there's no royalties. So what am I working for, right?
Well, it's just not fair. Like that was the deal. So
yeah, well, they could always say, look, this is what we could give you a percentage of sales and not call it a royalty. So we could look, and it's on the blockchain, we could look every month what our sales are and still give you. But that's why the Utes art is being further delayed, and it's been delayed already because they don't have an artist anymore.
I don't know, man.
They'll find another artist. That's not
the amount, dude. The amount of delays and miscommunications, and Frank's brought it up multiple times. How he's like, that's something they're working on. It just doesn't seem to get any better, and it's a Solana project, which gives me a little bit of like, all right, well, Solana's for degens, bro. Like it just is. The fact that the top project just like can't make any kind of deadline, I'm like, that is not like that. That's a reason.
I don't think that's a representation of Solana. I think it's a representation of Frank. I think he's young. I think he's very young. The fact that he's done so well as far as the sales and the funding go is absolutely incredible. But I do think that he's inexperienced in these sort of things. I mean, I've learned in business, always under promise, bro, and over deliver. Always, never the other way around. If you say something's going to be done in a certain time, it has to be. That's something there. So I mean, I think that he's very, very young, but I'm not concerned about it being one that he ups and leaves. I do believe he's committed to it.
Yeah.
I wish he would stop covering his face, because I hate that. You know me. I've told you. I've had guys who wanted, big guys and projects who wanted to come on the show, even paid reviews. They wanted to do an hour interview, but they're going to be a PFP. They're going to be, they're not going to dox. And I said, unfortunately not. If you can't show your face, I worry about your intentions. Whether I'm right or wrong, a different story. But I don't know. That doesn't sit well. When I saw him on the interview with Champ and he was sitting there covering his face, it's like, what the hell are you hiding from? You know, what's in the back of your mind that you don't want people to know who you are? Do you intend on jumping ship? Why not show your face?
Yeah, I don't really understand it, honestly, but I mean, whatever. I guess the main point I brought up there for Solana was like, that's the typical mindset though of the degens. Like, it's just not as secure and it's not as legit. It's just
I agree with you.
That's
but
why
I think DeGods is legit.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I skipped over Solana's blockchain.